Good morning, Wednesday, blog post day. How are you? How are you in your corner of the world? It's a bit nippy and wet and grey and windswept and interesting down here in Sydney as I'm recording this for you this morning. I hope you're not experiencing that, although it must be said we need the rain down here, so bring it, Mr. Weatherman, bring it. Today, I thought we would have a bit of a chat about what actually happens on a 30-day AIP reset. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Jo, your AIP mentor, and I'm also the facilitator of the original AIP Reset program. And I was chatting with a long-time AIPer and past resetter lately, and she mentioned that she was kind of keen to sort of sign into AIP Reset, but she didn't want to take her diet all the way back to the elimination phase. She has successfully reintroduced some of the foods that she eliminated, and she knows she tolerates them well. So she didn't want to go all the way back to the beginning, and she kind of felt that it wasn't really in the spirit of AIP Reset if she joined us. And of course, we've got the next AIP Reset program kicking off this Sunday, the 1st of September. It's the final one for 2019. So it really made it very clear to me that even somebody who has been through Reset before wasn't 100% on what the parameters were, and I needed to check in with you guys, or chicken. The thing is, you absolutely don't need to be following the elimination phase of AIP to join AIP Reset. Not at all. In fact, I would go so far as to suggest that most resetters want to tweak their diets back to a baseline that works for them. But for the most part, this absolutely doesn't mean strict elimination phase again. And while I was sort of thinking about all of this, it made me realize that there might be other things that happen on AIP Reset that people were not aware of. And kind of stands to reason, really. How are you meant to know about it? You're not a mind reader. So there's a great quote by the incredibly talented J.K. Rowling, and it goes something like, some failure in life is inevitable, and it's impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. So that kind of represents why I started this whole AIP Reset caper back at the beginning in 2016. I've got a dog who wants to come up. Oh. Want to say hello? Yes. Good girl. So it was kind of born out of my need to refine my AIP groove. And while I don't love the word failure, I had strayed from my protocol. I had stumbled, if you like. And to be honest, I kind of stumble with some frequency, because if you don't colour outside the lines, you never really learn. So back in 2016, when I'd been following my post-reintroductions for a while, I realised that I'd kind of strayed a little bit further from my protocol than was ideal for me. And it was really affecting me. It was affecting my health. My sleep was compromised. My stress levels were sort of going up. So it was about more than just the diet for me. It was about the need for me to move my body a bit more. And when I mentioned this to my wider AIP community, a few of the subscribers in my news list decided that they wanted to join me, and we had 127 people in that first AIP Reset. It was a phenomenal experience, and what it made me realise was that I wasn't alone. Other people needed to refine their AIP groove as well. Mrs. Christina, lovely to see you, Possum. So since that 2016 inaugural AIP Reset, the program has kind of evolved. And that's 3 years ago. It's hard to believe it's 3 years. So I thought today we'd talk a little bit about what happens on Reset now. And obviously we want to start with the practical stuff because people want to know what they get for their money. So let's talk about that. You get I can't wait to have you on Reset, Mrs. Christina. It's going to be a doozy. So first up, a couple of days before Reset, so this Friday, you will be sent your comprehensive, downloadable AIP Reset Handbook, which has got lots of tips and tricks to navigate this AIP way of life. And you also get entry into a very supportive and inclusive and friendly and informative private Facebook group where you can safely ask questions, share your experiences, and receive and offer support. And the big thing here is that all the people who are in this group are very familiar with the AIP protocol framework. So they're all people that have lived this AIP way of life. They don't think you're strange. You have the opportunity to really engage with a community of like-minded women from around the world, and they're all well-versed in using the autoimmune protocol template to help them improve their health. You have access to a certified coach and AIP mentor who lives an AIP way of life. Not sure who I might be talking about there. You have daily posts on different aspects of the autoimmune protocol, all providing you with the tools and support and downloadable information. I've been working on some new downloads that you need to help you get the most out of your 30-day reset. Oh, bless your cotton socks. It's a collective, my friend. It's a collective, and it's a bit of magic, I think. So you also get one live Q&A session each week on video where, just like this, where you have the opportunity to ask questions, to troubleshoot different aspects of your AIP framework and how it relates to your personal health caper. You get 4 topic of the day videos each week driven by the group's areas of interest. So sometimes it might be about setting boundaries. Sometimes it might be about adding more nutrient density to your diet. Sometimes it might be troubleshooting sleep. It all depends on what the group needs. Hello, Miss Erin. Looking forward to having you in AIP Reset, Possum. And there's also so much more. It is so much more than the sum of its parts. And this is what happens when you get this group of switched on women together. It is a little bit of magic. And so you've heard about what the practical stuff is. Now I want to talk about the slightly more intangible stuff, because for me, that is the stuff that makes AIP Reset really special. So for me, what happens in AIP Reset? You get a whole lot of community and camaraderie. When you suffer from a chronic illness, or 2 or 3 or 4, life can become really isolated. And AIP doesn't make it easier. I am so looking forward to having you too, Possum. It's going to be a great month. So you get very used to swimming against the tide when you suffer from autoimmune disease, when you're following AIP. When you join the AIP Reset Gang, you immediately gain entry into this month of sharing your stuff with other people who get it. There's a sense that you can bring your whole self to this collective of women. You don't have to hide. You can share your underbelly. You can be vulnerable in a way that perhaps you can't do so easily in the real world. And this is something that is deeply personal to me, because for over 20 years, I never talked about my skin stuff. And when I say skin stuff, I'm talking some really, really nasty, embarrassing, shameful skin stuff. And all of that goes away when I'm sitting in this AIP Reset group. Friendships are born in AIP Reset. Connections are made. And of course, you can be as active or as quiet as you like. It's totally okay if you prefer to watch from the sidelines, if you're a bit of a lurker, and, you know, if you want to wait a while before you share. I got to be frank, I do encourage everybody to share because it's how we kind of connect with each other. It's how human beings connect. There's that lovely quote by C.S. Lewis that friendship is born at the moment when one man, or woman in this case, says to another, "What? You too? I thought nobody but myself had to deal with that." And for me, that just sums up AIP Reset. So you learn how to chunk down this health caper that you're on. I'm really fond of saying that this AIP caper is, who's saying morning? From sunny Perth, Mary Murphy. Lovely to see you, Possum. How are you? So I'm really fond of saying that this AIP caper is a really big beastie. It's a bit like an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. And the best way to approach this healing adventure is one bite at a time. So we pick different diet or lifestyle aspects on each day of AIP Reset. And when you join, it helps you remove some of that overwhelm that often comes with these big, hairy, audacious change expectations. Because when you are within the confines of a group of fellow AIPers following a similar path to you, you kind of turn down the volume on the noise of dealing with the AIP naysayers in the world for you, you know, the people that don't really know what you're doing, and it frees you up to experience your AIP caper with significantly more what I call grace and ease. It just takes away some of the pain, the difficulty, the challenge. And following on from chunking that down, you set some SMART goals and hopefully you start a new habit. So part of this chunking down process is about learning how to set SMART goals. And if you're unfamiliar with SMART goals, they are goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So you set some SMART goals that resonate for you for the month of your reset. I want you to come away from your 30 days feeling like you've really achieved something. So one of the very first things we do in AIP Reset is to identify what is most important for you to achieve over the month. Which bit of your AIP elephant will you be working on? That's what we do. And then once you have framed your goals, if you feel comfortable doing so, you share them within the group. And this is a way for you to really commit and stay accountable for these things that you have elected are really personal to you. So it gives you the impetus to really focus on the important stuff, the stuff that matters most to you today at this stage of your AIP caper. I'm all about personalizing your AIP way of life. And so this is reflected in AIP Reset. The further you dig into your AIP caper, the more you realize that you are in this for the long haul. It's a way of life. It's not something that you're going to stop doing once you feel better. So if you've spent any time at all hanging out here with me, you already know that I am a fan of creating rituals that serve me. My morning ritual is the one that accompanies my chickens on a Friday, is a big one. So a ritual for me is it's a healthy habit on crack, right? It's one that I'm very intentional about having in my life. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. So the more consciously you add to your rituals, the more you can crowd out the stuff that doesn't serve you. And there is a subtle but very important way of looking at this. I am all about personalizing my AIP way of life to my life, as opposed to fitting my life to the autoimmune protocol. And as I said, it's a small but important distinction. It's one that allows you to really shine a light on developing rituals and habits that serve you, because your rituals and habits will look different to my rituals and habits. because we're different people. We're unique individuals, and the world's a better place because of it. Hello, Miss Donna in Saskatchewan. You know how much I love saying that word. Good to see you, sweetie. What else do you get on AIP Reset? You give yourself the gift of self-care. So I regularly reset back to my personal AIP baseline. For me, in September, that means I'm going right back to elimination. I need some new habits too. I always need new habits. So at least a couple of times a year, I do a reset. And that means I do the reset myself while I am facilitating the program. So I'm in the trenches with you. And I think of AIP Reset as a wee gift that I'm giving myself. It's a form of self-compassion. It's a metaphorical hug, if you like. It's very human for us to drift away from our AIP framework when life gets in the way. And I refer to this as AIP creepage. It's when you've been following your personalized version of the template, whatever really resonates for you, both the elimination and lifestyle factors, but for any given reason, your performance in terms of sticking to the letter of the protocol starts to sort of really go, and it's perfectly human. It's almost impossible to stop some degree of creepage because you can't control all the variables in your life. You don't have that power. You are not God. AIP Reset gives you that space and structure to take things back to the basics so that you can start feeling good about the business of being you again. One of my favourite things about AIP Reset is that it is a guilt and judgment-free zone. If you're somebody who has a very critical inner voice, maybe you are somebody who compares themselves to other people and you come up wanting. We don't do that in AIP Reset. We are kind of the opposite of that. We're very focused on building each other up. You have enough people in your life who are imposing expectations and requirements on you on how you should look, how you should feel or behave. In AIP Reset, you get to hang out with a whole bunch of bloody fabulous AIPers who understand that this chronic illness thing is actually quite hard work. And that's before you even factor in your other commitments. So it's okay if you stumble. The important thing is that you pick yourself up again. And we'll help you do that. It's part of the deal when you sign up to AIP Reset. What are you saying, Miss Erin? You plan to go back to elimination. Oh, good on you, girlfriend. You're phasing it in. I love this. I'm going cold turkey on Sunday. I'm cutting the coffee. Now, for those of you who know me at all, and Donna, I think you were the one who might have been laughing at my spearmint tea a few resets back. I will be back on the spearmint tea. I am 86ing the coffee again as well. So, yes, I'm with you, Miss Erin. Christina, you've cut down to 1 cup. Good on you. I say I'm 86ing the coffee. Here it is. Just, how many sleeps have I got to go? Not looking forward to that one. You know how much I love my coffee. The spearmint tea, Mrs. Christina. I've still got it. So, it's that. Remember that enormous bag that I bought? I think I made a dent this big because it just, it tastes like, to me, spearmint tea. What is it? It tastes like dried grass and water. So it's not my favourite. Nothing replaces coffee for me. Even chocolate is easy for me, Erin, when it comes to the coffee conundrum. Nope. I do not like chicory. I do not like black tea. Nothing is the same as coffee. That's why I go for the dried grass water, because I can't try to replace something that is irreplaceable. No, I have not emptied it. You will see it again, Miss Donna. You will see it again. The bag of dried grass is coming out for AIP Reset. I've got a couple of past AIP Resetters who are here at the moment. give me a holler if I've left anything off that you like about Reset, because you guys keep coming back. So there's obviously stuff that you really enjoy about the program. I'd love to know what it is, for the benefit of those who are coming to the video later. Chocolate is your coffee, Miss Erin. We can empathize together. We can prop each other up together, Miss Erin, because it's going to be that first week is always the hardest, isn't it? When you go, especially for me, I'm going cold turkey, so I know that Sunday, Monday, and maybe Tuesday there'll be a coffee or caffeine withdrawal headache. I have to make sure I keep my water intake up. But yes, I know I'll feel better in the end. You will meet my bag of dried grass, Miss Erin. We should give it a name, I think. We should give it a name. Dried grass. I will have to give that some thought. Name my dried grass. I genuinely believe that, Christina, that it's more than the sum of its parts, right? And one of the most profound things that have eventuated from my AIP caper over the last 6 years is the connections that I have made with so many people from around the world. Really deep and meaningful connections with women from parts of the world that I never even thought about. So it's a really special part of being part of this AIP community. Oh, you're giving me a link there, Donna. I'll have to go and have a look at the end of this video, but thank you. Caffeine headaches make me whimper too. So, I'm glad somebody else out there understands. The hibiscus tea. Okay, thank you, Miss Donna. I appreciate that. Thank you for thinking of me. So, yeah, that's a little bit about what happens on, what actually happens on an AIP reset. If you're thinking that you might need to refine your AIP groove, we would love you to join us. It's going to be a great month, and it is the last AIP reset for 2019, so we're going out with a bang. I'd love you to be part of the crew. www.aipreset.com. Sign up, come and join the fun. We'd love to see you. And what are we saying? We're saying... Oh, Erin, you and Donna shop at the same shop. Christina. Oh, bless your cotton socks. How could I not acknowledge you, Mrs. Christina? And I understand Mr. Christina might be joining you with AIP Reset. Well, David is joining me. He is doing a reset this month in September as well. So it always makes life easier when you've got a bit of support, doesn't it? So, come along and join the fun. Thank you for joining me live, girls. If you're coming to this video a little bit later, I'll be back again on Friday morning for my my Friday morning sunrise chicken. And I'd love to see you there as well. So, over and out from me in Sydney. See you in AIP Reset.